Hey, thanks again for pressing play and welcome once again to another edition of the Suns Jam Session podcast on the BLEAV Podcast Network, brought to you by FanDuel, where if you had Grayson Allen over 30 points, you're having a great night because the odds on that, plus 450. So take those odds where you can get it. You know that Devin Booker wasn't playing in this game. You knew the points were going to have to come from somewhere. If Grayson Allen was the horse that you bet on, like I said, you had a good night. Not a great night for Phoenix with a loss. Obviously, it's not a great night. But again, it was another gritty night and a night where you take a step away from this game and you always ask yourself after every game, what did we learn about this team? And it's nothing that we really learned. It was just a fortification of what we have learned from this team. No Devin Booker, no Jalen Green. They lose 108 to 105 on the road against the top team in the Eastern Conference. It's hard to step away from this one and really be frustrated. I can see being frustrated against Miami a little bit. You were up kind of big in that one. This one is just like you feel like the odds were stacked against you and you still went out there, played Suns basketball, and almost walked away with the victory. So we're going to talk about that on more and more on this edition of the Suns Jam Session podcast, a solo one with Voida. It's just you and me tonight, baby, and hopefully a bunch of your friends who are watching along live in the chat. If you happen to be listening to this later, truly appreciate it. Make sure if you're on Apple Podcasts, you rate us 5 stars. Give us the little review right there. We'll read it live right here on the show. And we're getting close, man. We're getting close to 4,000 subscribers on YouTube. So if you're somebody who watches this podcast on YouTube and you haven't taken the energy, just take that thumb and just press subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Your Jamsters would appreciate it. The Suns would appreciate it. I hope. I don't know. I'm guessing. I'm begging here. I'm begging for subs, man. But let's talk about this one. Suns, Pistons. It was close.
Hey, you're listening to the Suns Jam Session podcast, shooting the shit about the Suns since 2019.
Hey, Jamsters, a 108 to 105 loss at the hands of the Detroit Pistons, which brings me to my first question.
Matthew, I've got to ask.
Matthew, I got to ask, why am I pounding a margarita on a Thursday? Because I felt like it, man. Sometimes you got to booze it up. So I made myself a marg here, right? 2 parts tequila, 1800 reposado, 1 part lime juice, 1 part you could go orange juice. I put Cointreau and agave in there. So let's enjoy it, Suns fans. Let's get tossed on this one. A little straw too. So this game, what do I take away from this game? That's the question that I have for the Matthew I Gotta Ask segment. What do you take away from a loss in which there's no Devin Booker, there's no Jalen Green, you're on the road, and it felt early like this was going to be a game where the Suns might get their asses handed to them. And to their credit, they played fantastic. They were up by 16 points in this game at one point. And it's unfortunate, obviously, to lose that kind of game, right? One where you're up 16. But in the NBA, I mean, that's the game, right? I mean, the Suns were down a ton against Miami, and they fought all the way back in that one. And that's the question you have to ask yourself, at least as a fan, is how do you feel? Would you rather be a team that's up and blow a lead or a team that fights all the way from behind and not win the game? Because that's what we've received in the 2 first games of this road trip, right? That's what we've received. We received a situation in Miami where we're getting our asses kicked. Effort was horrible in the first half. And then the team locked into Suns basketball and played their way back into a game and then fell short at the end, right? And then this one, they outscored the Pistons 32 to 23 in the first half. They walk into the locker room up 63-56, and you knew it was going to be a rock fight in the second half. And ultimately, the Pistons outscored the Suns 52-42 in the second half. So the Suns kind of dropped the ball, but there's the caveat that Devin Booker's not there. So what I take away from this game, again, like I said at the front of the pod, is it's a fortification of who the Suns are. It's unfortunate they lost this game too. Again, but you can't be disappointed because they're shorthanded. Well, you can't be disappointed. You can beat whoever the fuck you want. I'm not disappointed in what I saw from Phoenix. I was impressed for the most part from what I saw in Phoenix or from Phoenix in Detroit tonight. 16 degrees there, by the way. Gross. Glad I live in Phoenix. So what I'd like to do, because it is a solo pod, if you're in the chat, go ahead. Let me know what your burn book items are, because that's what I'm going to start with here. And I want to, bring up some of the topics that you saw that frustrated you tonight. And then we'll talk about the positive stuff. But I think, after a loss, we're going to open up some things and we're going to jot some things down in the burn.
The Suns Jam Session Burn Book.
The Suns Jam Session Burn Book.
All right. So the first thing that I had in my burn book, things that kind of frustrated me tonight against the Detroit Pistons, is let's go with gosh, I don't know. I don't know where to start. I got a few things that I've written down. I'll start with the free throws. You got to fucking make your free throws, right? This is the fucking NBA. Now, granted, the Pistons weren't great, especially down the stretch. Their inability to make free throws kept the Suns' hopes alive late. They ended up shooting 23 of 37 from the free throw line, 62.2%. That's the Pistons. The Suns were 16 of 25. That's 64%. Both these teams shot horribly from the line. But in the Suns' case, you need to hit those free throws to overcome the obstacles before you. The fact that you're on the road, the fact that you're playing one of the top defensive teams in the league, because that's what the Pistons are. A team that leads the league in dunks. That's something that they do because they live around the rim. And so every opportunity you need to take that in an effort to try, if you want to win this game. 64% from the free throw line, kind of unacceptable. I don't like the fact that the Suns had so many more fouls. 25-15 were the personal fouls in this one. 25-15. This game was a fucking rock fight. I honestly don't know how the Pistons didn't get called for fouls, but the Suns carry with them a reputation. I guess the Pistons don't. I just step away from a game like this. That's a frustration that I take with me. And again, I hate to harp on the officials, but when you have a nice cold margarita in your hand, I can make a damn good margarita. That's what you walk away with. So that's one thing, is just the fact that the Suns weren't making their free throws. The other one is kind of Mark Williams.
Yeah, Mark Williams is a bad man. Yeah, ripping rebounds, blocking shots, playing like a madman. Yeah, crowd go wild when he raised that hand. Pain in the paint, that's the master plan. Bad man.
Mark Williams was not a bad man tonight. For those of you who are watching the game, he played a total of 22 minutes, 2 of 4 from the field, 6 rebounds, 5 points. He did have one great highlight dunk, but he kind of got played off the court. And by kind of, I mean absolutely. Fourth quarter tonight, Mark Williams plays a total of, 5 minutes. Doesn't really make an impact. Overall, he's a team worst minus 11. Oh, no, Dylan Brooks was the worst. We'll get to him. The challenge with Mark Williams is, and it's easy to hide behind the veil, and I know that I will hide behind the veil, this specific veil throughout the season. I'm a big price or value paid guy, right? Your production relative to your salary means something to me. That's why I always had issues with DeAndre Ayton, right? Because DeAndre Ayton, I was fine with him until he got the max, right? And once he did, Suns fan in the chat. Mark Williams, 3 points, 4 to 5 rebounds, but he's better than Ayton. Yeah, he is. He's better than Ayton. Absolutely, he's better than Ayton. Ayton got paid more than he did because Ayton was the number 1 overall pick who legacy got a contract and had one good playoff run and ultimately got compensated for being on a quality team. Whereas Mark Williams, even-keeled, plays within the confines of who he is, and you're paying him $6 million a year. So that's the veil. Now, that being said, he was easily identified by the Pistons at halftime as the guy they need to attack because they have Jalen Duren. And I'm a huge Jalen Duren fan. I love Jalen Duren. He is a beast. He is so underrated in the NBA, in my opinion. Nobody talks about him. And it's probably because he can't, drop the 3 ball or something, but he's huge. He's physical. He's fundamental. He's got the edge to him. I love Jalen Duren. And I think part of that's because a couple years ago when I was playing NBA 2K, I made a trade. I traded DeAndre Ayton and I got Jalen Duren, and I played with him all the time. I fell in love with the digital version of him, and every time I watch the actual version, I'm impressed. But they utilized the Piston strategy in that second half was pound the interior, pound Mark Williams into submission, because Mark Williams, for all the things that he is, he's long. He's one of the longest centers in the league. He runs the floor well. We talk about that quite often on the podcast. What does he do that Ayton doesn't have? He's consistent, and he brings his energy. But he's not overly physical. That is one of those challenges that he has. He's a more technical type of center. And Jalen Duren is fucking physical. Jalen Duren, 16 points, 18 rebounds in this game, and he went for 12 and 9 in the second half. That just goes to show you that was the strategy of the Detroit Pistons in this game. Because this is a team that they can shoot the 3 ball. They're not a great 3-point shooting team. Obviously, they have Duncan Robinson, their version, East Coast version of Grayson Allen. But they're a team that attacks the rim. Again, they lead the league in dunks because their goal is we're going to beat you up on the inside and we're going to beat you up with defense. We're physical on the interior. We're physical in the way that we attack playing on the defensive side of the ball. So that was an issue that I had in this one. Williams got played off the court. Now, granted, Oso Ighodaro is showing why he plays late in games, and that's because he does have those disruptive hands. He's a better perimeter defender, and we saw that numerous times. He got switched out on Cade Cunningham. He just took the ball from him. I'm like, okay, that's fantastic. That's what you want. And Mark Williams, again, if there was a perfect world, you could take like the basketball IQ and the defensive disruption that Oso brings, plus Mark Williams' offensive game equals like a better center than what we currently have. And that's just the way it goes. All right, let's see. I'm going to take a look at the chat real quick and see if anybody has some things in the burn book before I continue in my burn book. Armando says, Dylan not realizing it wasn't his night. 100%.
Dylan, the villain.
Oh, Dylan. Dilly. We might have lost this game straight up because of Dylan Brooks tonight. And that's the issue, right? That's the 15% we talk about is, and people have been saying it kind of all year. And I've written an article or two about it on brightsideofthesun.com where I talk about how, we've lost a couple games surely simply because of the antics of Dylan Brooks. He had the antics tonight, not as crazy, but 4 of 16 from the field for 16 points. 6 fouls. He fouls out. 1 of 8 from the field in the second half. To Armando's point, he quite simply he wanted to step up in the absence of Devin Booker and do his part, and his efficiency killed him, and it killed the team ultimately because he didn't have it. It wasn't there tonight. And again, that's kind of the challenge you get when you have a Dylan Brooks on your team, right? It's just sometimes it works. Sometimes it don't. And tonight, it didn't work. Let's see. I'm going to go through some comments right now. Man, I want a margarita, but it's 11 a.m. my local time. Always a good time to have a margarita. Dunn actually had better numbers tonight than Mark Williams, which is surprising. Voida having Matt Dre from Detroit do play-by-play with Tim Kempton was amazing. K-Ray out, so the game was weird on radio. Yeah, Godspeed to John Bloom. I know that he's out. He's having some personal family stuff going on, so I didn't hear the radio side, obviously, but, Godspeed to him. Yeah, love you, Bloomer. Love you, Bloomer. John always bringing up Ayton and the re-traumatizing me. No, it does, but at the same time, it's good to know who you don't know where you've been till you know who you are. Burn Book, whipping out the Valley jerseys in an away game with Booker out. Valley jersey looks so good, though, don't you? Don't you think? I was thinking about that today. I'm like, Oso Ighodaro, when the Suns were first donning those jerseys was like 4 years ago, 5 years ago. He was still playing maybe freshman ball at Marquette. Maybe he was a senior over at Desert Vista. And I wonder if he ever thought he'd be wearing one in an actual game. Let's see. The guards were not really looking for Williams much. Oso is part of the playmaking. That's absolutely correct. That's a great. Oh, Blaze Megatron. Fact, dude, homie. Haven't seen you in the chat in a minute. Always got great insight. Yeah, that's absolutely what happens. When Oso's in the game, you can pull him out and that's why they wanted Oso in this game, is because you can pull him out to the perimeter and he can act as a screener and a playmaker. And what does that do? That opens up the paint because Jalen Duren's guarding Oso. You can't do that with Mark Williams. He can go and set a screen, but you're not going to hand him the ball above the break and ask him to try to make a play. So that's why Oso gets more minutes and continues to, because in Ott's system, that's what Ott wants. And think about this, okay? Long-term. We're going to go long-term Suns here. When this upcoming offseason occurs, knowing what Brian Gregory's vision is, knowing what Jordan Ott likes to do, you best believe that that's what they're going to prioritize, is trying to find a better, more skilled playmaking big than Oso Ighodaro, or at least add somebody to that. I also wouldn't be surprised, and I'd like to see it if that's what they're working on with Kaman Malawach. Like, hey, man, we need you to, pass the ball a little bit, see how it works out. Oso bad at free throws. Absolutely. Big Wheels Rico says, this was supposed to be a blowout, to be honest. Just sucks because the boys kicked ass and then ended up blowing it. Yeah, big time. That's why these hurt, because it's so close and you're right there. And the Rockets right now are playing OKC, and they're probably going to lose that game. And we had a chance to jump them in the standings and let another Twitter war commence. Let's see. And he also says Green's supposed to play Saturday. I hope so. I hope both of them are back in. All right, let me continue looking at my notes. Thank you again for engaging in the chat. If you happen to be watching along live, truly, truly appreciate it. Make sure you hit the thumbs up while you're here. Let's see. Last time the Pistons played was last Saturday. Think about it. It's Thursday. The NBA schedule's fucking whack, and they were rusty, absolutely. And then they kind of unrusted, although the final score in the fourth quarter, the Pistons beat the Suns by a total of 3 points. And in the fourth quarter, they beat them by a total of 4. It was 19-15. That was the final score in the fourth quarter. But the NBA schedule is just fucking stupid. They didn't play since last Saturday. Ryan Dunn. I mentioned this on the last podcast, but I'm going to mention it again. Dunn is so average at guarding twitchy guards on the perimeter. He falls for the juke every time. Jay Nivey put him in the blender early tonight. So Isaiah Stewart. I want to look at his final line because I got a question when it comes to Isaiah Stewart. Okay, just what I thought. Isaiah Stewart is a fucking asshole. But you know what? That makes him, he should be a Sun. But seriously, like, what does Isaiah Stewart do? You know what I mean? Like, what does he do? Other than just like try to fuck shit. He was 0 of 2 from the field. He ended up with 4 rebounds. He had 4 points off of free throws only. A couple block shots, only 2 personal fouls, which is horseshit. Because Isaiah Stewart is like Dylan Brooks, but less skilled. Although Dylan really didn't help his cause tonight. But yeah, Isaiah Stewart. What the fuck's that guy do? And the last thing I have in the burn book before I talk about the positives, all right, we're going to talk about the good things that happened tonight despite a loss, is things that I say once a game. I wrote these down, all right? And tell me if you say these things too. Get it inside to Williams. There's numerous times where I watch and they'll be running in transition, or they'll have a play, and like if they just can get a quick entry pass to Williams, he's got an easy dunk or an easy floater. I mean, he is soft around the rim. And I just, kind of to Blaze Megatron's point earlier, they just don't feed him the ball. And I'd like to see them feed it more. And like, that's what helped the Suns come back in the last game against Miami is they started utilizing him. Now, granted, Jalen Duren's a different beast. And this whole road trip, they showed a graphic during the broadcast. It's going to be a challenge for Mark Williams because they got like Nick Claxton and Mitchell Robinson is who we play this upcoming Saturday. And gosh, who else is on this road trip? Sixers, you got Joel Embiid on the second night of a back-to-back. I mean, it's not going to be a great road trip for Mark Williams. And I know that we'll look at his stats after the road trip. We're like, damn. But you got to feed him inside. Another thing that I say constantly while watching the Suns play, and I say these things once a night, don't shoot that, Ryan. Sometimes it goes in, sometimes it doesn't. But I always tell him not to shoot it. I'm the anti-Jordan Ott. Jordan Ott's like, hey, man, I want you to build confidence. I want you to shoot the ball. I'm like, don't fucking do that. And then the last thing that I say every game is, damn it, Dylan, stupid fucking foul. There's the burn book.
Tell me the
Right side.
All right. Let's see. What do I got for the bright side in this one? Well, I mean, I think it easily starts with the services of Grayson Allen tonight.
Let me tell you a little story about a guy who shoots threes. Everyone hates him because he's a dookie. He's pretty underrated if you're asking me. His name is Grayson Allen.
Grayson, 33 points tonight, 11 of 25 from the field, 7 of 20 from beyond the arc. He attempted 20 3-pointers. I got to look something up. I'm going to look it up live right here on the podcast. Let's see here. I'm going to go to StatHead, and I'm going to look for players. I'm going to look for a game finder. Right. And then I'm going to look up most 3-pointers attempted in games in Phoenix Suns history. So I'll just start with like 15. Has anybody attempted more than 15? I know obviously the answer to that is yes. Let's see. Statistical filter. Nope, that's good. And I want to do, where's the option for teams? Game filters. Nope. Player filter. Team. Here we go. Phoenix Suns. I'm going to do this, and there's like 40 guys in the Suns' histories who've attempted 23s, and I just think that that's an odd number, and I'm wrong here. But all right, fetching the results from StatHead. Nothing came up, of course. It's because I'm doing it live. I got to research this on the back end. Where the fuck? That goes in my burn book, the fact that this didn't work out. Oh, no. Oh, it's because it asked me to log in. I'm always logged in, assholes. You fucking asshats. Okay, I'll do that later because I always forget my password for StatHead. But yeah, Grayson Allen, man. I mean, he definitely stepped up in a way that the Suns needed. You knew, like I said at the front end, if you're on FanDuel and you're trying to determine where the point's going to come from tonight, the answer is Grayson Allen. The answer is Dylan Brooks. The answer is Colin Gillespie. Those are kind of the guys that you're like, okay, they're probably going to be the guys who go ahead and make up for the fact that Devin Booker's out there. Who's going to eat into his shot diet, right? Like that's the question that you're asking yourself. And I thought it was going to be Grayson Allen. I had him for 4+ threes, and I cashed that ticket. Yeah, buddy. Random D Thompson just said, fuck your Dodgers, Voida, LOL. Okay. Why? What'd they do? Who they sign now? Fuck my Dodgers all you want, my friends. They're winning fucking championships. Don't hate the player. Fire the coach. Totally lost my train of thought. What was I talking about? How awesome Grayson Allen is? I'm still trying to search this over here because now I'm like logged in. All right, so 3-point field goal attempts. We'll say over 18 attempts in Suns history. How many guys have attempted over 18? It says like you can't find it. Okay, maybe it's never happened. Doesn't make sense. I know, when whatever. Kyler Tucker? No fucking way they got Kyler Tucker. Oh, that makes me happy. I was talking to a buddy like 3 weeks ago that I'm like, dude, we're going to get Kyler Tucker. Sweet. He's fucking good. Oh, fuck the Dodgers. I'm with you. D Thompson. Fuck the Dodgers, man. Yeah, Dodgers given a reason for salary cap in the MLB. Good stuff. What's funny is everybody thinks that the salary cap's a good thing in the MLB. It's the fact that the owners are so goddamn cheap at the bottom that they don't spend, and everybody just hates the Dodgers because they actually try to spend and they spend wisely. You know, you think, and podcast derailed. Yeah, I'm drinking margaritas, and you're talking about the Dodgers and a salary cap. Salary cap isn't the issue. The problem is teams aren't willing to pay their fucking players. That's the challenge. Freddie Freeman could have stayed in Atlanta if they just would have fucking paid the guy for what he did. He got him a World Series. They're like, nope, we don't want to pay you. And the Dodgers are like, fuck, we'll pay you. You have a great on-base percentage. How about you hit a grand slam in the game 1 of the World Series against the Yankees? Gone. In fact, just for fun, because we're having fun here, right? We're having a good time. Let's see if I play my cards right. Oh gosh, how many years ago was that? See, you guys have completely derailed me. This is why I shouldn't have drinks while doing the podcast, in all honesty. Yeah, I can't find it. You guys are lucky today. I cannot find. I used to have the highlight, and I used to play it for Matthew every time we would have a conversation, and I wanted to kind of derail it, if you will. I would just go ahead and play the Freddie Freeman walk-off grand slam. So you got out of that one, my fellow Jamsters. But yeah, Grayson Allen, great job tonight. He did everything he possibly could. Got a little spicy out there, but that's what that's what maturity does in a player, and that's one thing that Grayson Allen certainly is he's mature. He sets the tone for the team. Another guy who was playing kind of well, and I wish that he would have been a little bit more aggressive.
Your villain junior is Colin Gillespie.
Colin Gillespie in this one ends with a grand total of 18 points. He was 6 of 10 from the field, 4 of 6 from beyond the arc, 6 assists. He's been struggling lately, right? 8.3 points in his last 6 games. He needed to be more aggressive tonight, in my opinion. He had a lot of pump fakes. A lot of pump fakes from him tonight when he didn't need to. He pump faked himself into coverage. You know what I mean? Like if he had just shot the ball with that quick twitch ability that he has, much akin to Grayson, it could have been white boy night. We could have gone to Detroit, the 3-1-3. I don't know if you guys have ever seen True Romance, movie written by Quentin Tarantino, directed by Tony Scott, movie that occurred in between Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction. It's actually the proceeds of that movie financially for Quentin Tarantino led him to have enough funds to make Pulp Fiction. But that movie starts off in Detroit, and there's a white pimp in the movie played by Gary Oldman, and he doesn't think he's white. And he says these guys thought it was White Boy Day, and it could have been White Boy Day in Detroit, but it didn't happen because Colin Gillespie, although he had 18, if he had 21, we would have tied the game. Just saying, a little bit more aggressive. Stephanie says True Romance is my favorite film. Horseshit, it's my favorite movie. I fucking love that movie. I can quote everything. Real quick, Big Will's Rico. Of course, Dodgers got another high-dollar player. My D-backs got to get dudes from Goodwill and hope for a diamond in the rough. Yeah, you guys got fucking Nolan Arenado. Evan Longoria, old-ass third baseman who come to the desert to retire. Yeah. True Romance, by the way, unbelievable writing by what's his nugget, Quentin Tarantino. All right, another guy who is on the bright side of things tonight.
Where's my dog?
Jordan's dog wins.
There's my dog.
I don't care that he had 7 points, man. He had 12 rebounds. He had 3 steals. He looked fantastic. He made Cade Cunningham so frustrated tonight. He was in his shorts all night long. He's diving head first into the hardwood, looking for loose balls. I mean, that's heart. That's identity. That's Suns basketball right there. Jordan Goodwin is Suns basketball. He's a nuisance in every word, every letter of the word. I don't know if that makes sense. But I absolutely loved what I saw from Jordan Goodwin tonight. I wish we could have bottled that up. And I wish he would have made a couple threes. Again, like 0 for 2 from 3. He was focusing on the defensive end. He was focusing on the disruption, and disruption did occur. Another guy who goes into my bright side book, if you will.
Oh, you know what I'm talking about.
So Iguodala. So 6 steals tonight, man. Again, like I said earlier, I was talking about him. He was 4 of 8 from the field. Yeah, he was 2 of 5 from the free throw line. If he hit all 3, we would have tied the game. But also continues to impress, man. This is a tough team on the road that you're playing. And defensively, he's out there and he's logging real minutes and he's frustrating them. He's got the active hands. He showcased why he's part of Jordan Knott's system tonight. And Jordan Knott's been saying some really nice quotes in the media recently about him, how he processes the game and how he just fits what Jordan Knott wants to do. So shout out to Oso for a quality performance tonight. Ooh, man, we're having fun on this podcast, aren't we? Keith Nettles in the chat. That's a great one. Let me sip my margarita before I read it to the listeners. You who are watching can read it on the screen. Hot dogs are neither hot nor made of dog. Discuss. Yeah, because you can eat hot dogs cold, right? Cold dogs. So my favorite hot dog is a Hebrew National. I love a Dodger dog, ladies and gentlemen. I love a good old-fashioned Dodger dog. I like the Hebrew Nationals. I was thinking about this the other day. Growing up, I grew up in Southern California, as some of you might know. That's why I have ties to the Los Angeles Dodgers. Born in Phoenix, grew up in L.A. We had a basketball team here back then, so I grew up loving this basketball team, hating that basketball team. But we didn't have a baseball team, so I was a Dodgers fan. But I remember playing T-ball and the minors and all that. And when I'd come home, my mom used to always have hot dogs that had cheese inside. I'm not talking about cheese bits. Like Oscar Mayer has cheese dogs now, but there's like cheese bits in it. Like the hot dogs I grew up with had like a line of cheese in them. Like that liquid cheese stuff. It's delicious. It's delicious. But what I will say about hot dogs is their tacos. A hot dog is a taco. And Paul, I know that you're listening to this podcast. You're a loyal listener. You text me if I forget to post it the next day. You're, hey, Voida. And you introduced me to a chart once upon a time that talked about, the cube formation of food or whatever it was called. And technically, a hot dog is a taco because it's meat inside of something shaped like this, a V, if you will. So there you go. We talked about, we discussed. I'm ecstatic that we got fucking Kyle Tucker, man. Like, it's gonna be a good year. Good year. Good year. All right, let's get into the old subreddit, shall we?
The Suns Jam Session subreddit stakeout.
The stakeout is brought to you by Nettles Air Conditioning, who can help you with your unit.
We've got you covered. NettlesAirs.com is where to go, brother. Call 623-444-48. Nettles Air makes your home feel great.
I made a double, and that thing's got probably like 6 ounces of booze in it. So, whoo! By the way, my back still hurts. I'm taking pain medications. Probably not a good idea to be pounding a margarita on a Thursday night. But you know what? Where is she? All right, imagine if you're tuning into this thing for the first time. If you are, welcome to the show 830 or whatever the fuck we're at now. This is what happens. All right, Jamsters, here's what the Detroit Pistons fans had to say. Allen is such a bitch. Cannot stand any of these dirty dookies. Bro, somebody needs to drug test Allen tonight. Allen has such a punchable face. A lot of anti-Allen hate in this for a couple reasons, if you think about it. One, he eviscerated the Pistons. He looked fantastic tonight, so of course they're going to hate him. Two, this is the land of Michigan State, right? They're very anti-Duke, so they hate him. This is a great observation. Never thought about this. Grayson Allen has 0 lips. After I read that comment, watch Grayson Allen run around. Look at the headshots. Grayson Allen doesn't have any lips. It's interesting. Allen made a face like a bear was mauling him. Grayson's strong as fuck, or Duncan is a grandma. That's on a play where, foul happened. Allen might be my least favorite player in the entire league. It's like, guys, if he was on your team, what you would say. And then there was some love. Like, I hate how Grayson Allen has turned into sort of a decent NBA player. I'm not going to lie. I would love Grayson Allen to be on our team. See? My best friend is a huge Suns fan. If we win, he said it doesn't count because Book isn't playing. But if we lose, I'll never hear the end of it. Correct. That's the way it works, buddy. If you're out Devin Booker and we beat your team, we're going to give you shit. But if you beat us, we're like, nah, dude, Book isn't playing. Welcome to fandom, bruh. Let's see. They hate so there's always one guy who the opposing team just can't fucking stand. In the Heat subreddit in the last game, who was it? Who did they fucking hate on nonstop? Obviously it wasn't Bam. I'm going to pull up their box score real quick just so I can see it. Who was it? There's somebody there. Oh, Tyler Hero. They were fucking mauling Tyler Hero. And the same thing goes in, like, if you go to the Sun subreddit, that's where you like to hang out during a game. That's who you'll find people who they're the anti-OSO people, right? The guy that they couldn't stand in this game was Karis LeVert. Somebody's like, LeVert is trash. And then like, bro, Karis LeShit. I don't know why I included that one. I just thought it was funny. It's like, Karis LeShit. And we in Phoenix will never forgive Karis LeVert for hitting a jumper when he was a member of the Brooklyn Nets, sending the Suns home from the bubble. Because if he had missed that shot, the Suns would have at least made the playoffs back then. The bubble Suns, once upon a time. It was only like 6 years ago now. Woo. Didn't realize we were playing the effing 2016 Warriors. Brooks is a piece of shit. Brooks is a punk bitch. Brooks is an asshole. They brought out all the stops for Dylan Brooks in this one, didn't they, my fellow Jamsters? I love when we play guys like Brooks because this stuff adds spice to games. And then, let's see. Why the fuck is it so hard to not leave Grayson Allen and Royce O'Neal alone? They don't do shit. They work for their threes. Stop leaving them and we win this game. And I guess I ended the last subreddit stakeout, for those of you listening to the last pod, talking about, the final comment was the Phoenix Suns are the Detroit bad boy Pistons, right? I'm like, hey, I like that. This one's like, is there a more punk bitch team in the league than the Phoenix Suns? And you know what? I like that too.
The Suns Jam Session subreddit stakeout.
I am A-OK being a punk bitch team. You know why? Because we're an irritant and you don't want to fucking play us. Right? We're not the soft Suns. Would you rather be the soft Suns? Oh, here comes the soft Suns. Or you want to be the team that everyone's like, man, they're a bunch of punk-ass bitches. Yes, I would rather be the punk-ass bitch team. All right, let me read the comments. Check the comments real quick before I go into the Jam Star and just see if the Dodgers acquired anybody else. Let's see. Blaze Megatron, pain meds plus cocktails equals fun. Do you do the podcast clips from work? Yeah, good question by Seth. So one thing I'm trying to do a little bit more for those of you who follow us on any of our socials, right? At Suns Jam on Instagram, on Twitter, on TikTok, and obviously for those of you who follow the YouTube channel, I'm just trying to create more content, quick hitters, if you will, a minute long things. Like I'll do it once we're done here. I'll do a quick hitter about the game and my thoughts. And I do those, I'll be done with a meeting and I've got like they take 5 minutes to do. It's me talking about the Suns, something I definitely know about. There's not a lot of research that goes into that. So that's how I do it. Yeah. I don't know how I do what I do, but I do what I do. Saul's already given us his Jam Star. Look at that. Blaze Megatron confirms Grayson Allen does have a tiny mouth. Seth says, do Devin Booker and Jalen Green come back together? That's a great question. Let's have a margarita about it. I could see both playing in New York on Saturday. I think Jalen Green's going to play. Devin Booker, the ankle, like I said, after watching last game, I knew that he wouldn't be in this one. When he was questionable yesterday, I was shocked. And again, that's a good thing because it's not doubtful, right? It means it's a positive thing. I think they're like, hey, relax. I think playing in New York City, that's the mecca of basketball. That's where people want to play. And I think that he plays in that game. And I think him and Jalen Green both come back on Saturday. At least that's what I hope. We'll see. Joey confirms that the Dodgers only got Tucker. Damn it. J959-L9K, which I think is related to C3PO, says Heat subreddit the other day, this Suns team is incredibly unlikable. And then they said, love it. I completely agree. Completely agree. The clips are great, but I gathered from the hushed tone. Well, the thing is, I've been working from home since I blew my back out. So I'm not really hushed. I'm just not as loud and annoying during the day, I guess. How long is Brunson out for? Ted asks. I don't know. He went out with an ankle yesterday, so we'll see. And we'll kick off Jamstar with Joey Lucio 27 saying that Kyle Tucker is his Jamstar of the game.
Jamstar of the game.
Right, Jamsters, the Jam Star of the game is brought to you by Bubba Chubbs Cards and Collectibles. Make sure you follow them on Instagram at Bubba Chubbs Collectibles. We've got their link down in the description below for those who are watching or listening. They got cool stuff, man. They sent me this, a Cedric Sabalos 1993 Fleer card. I don't know if you can see that, man, but said he's been on the podcast. And now I got his card. So thank you to Bubba Chubbs Cards and Collectibles. Let me know in the chat who your Jam Star of the game is. We've already seen that Kyle Tucker gets a nod. We had Grayson Allen get a nod. Let's see who else we got. I'm giving, gosh, it's got to be Grayson, right? It's got to be Grayson in this one, man. He was a man, dude, in this one. Blaze Megatron gives it to Grayson and Goodwin's Lockdown D. Also Pain Meds and Cocktails. Let's see. Grayson, Ted gives it to Grayson as well. I think it's going to be a pretty unanimous. Yeah, J9 Sabalis old school. That's a cool card. They sent me some other cards. I'm going to show some different cards kind of throughout the time that they're a sponsor of the podcast because I think that, again, I'm a card collector. You guys have probably seen the fact that I rip cards as part of our YouTube channel. I'll rip open some packs and to see what they offer and they're local. It's fantastic. Armando gives it to Dogwin, to Jordan Goodwin in this one. Blaze Megatron. I want to see this pod get more ads than WWE. Well, if you want to be an advertiser and you want to support the channel, go to Suns Jam Session at gmail.com and reach out to me. We'll talk about it. But all right, up next, New York. We're going to that concrete jungle where dreams are made of, playing at Madison Square Garden, a building I've had the pleasure to walk inside. I went to New York for Christmas a few years ago. The Knicks were out of town, but I got to see the Harlem Globetrotters play there. So that was pretty cool. It was also really cold outside, so it was warm, which was nice. Interesting game here, right? We just played the Knicks. We just beat the Knicks. They might be without Jalen Brunson. We might be without Devin Booker. Jalen Green hopefully returns in this game. But we know that one thing will occur, and that's the Suns will give a shit playing. And I know it sucks as we walk away from this with a 108-105 loss to the Detroit Pistons, man. But you know what you're getting from the Phoenix Suns night in, night out, and it's fun and it's entertaining, and you applaud the effort, right? It's so crazy to me that this is everything that Matt Ishbia said that he wanted to bring to this team, and it actually came true. Because if you're a fan of Arizona sports, you know that doesn't happen. And to see it happen in Phoenix, again, we're 24-17. We're halfway home, right? That's a 48-game win pace for the Phoenix Suns. And I'm impressed, man. I'm impressed with this team. And I was frustrated tonight, too. I wanted to win this game, right? I wanted to win it. Like, we had it. It's just like the Heat. We had it. Both those games we could have won. And we lost, and it sucks. But at the same time, like, it's a reminder that winning in the NBA is hard. It's tough. And when the Suns go 9-2 over a stretch of 11 games, you start to go, yeah, winning's easy. No, fucking A, it's not, man. This team puts it on the line every night, and it's fun to watch them. It's fun to cover them. It's fun to write about them. It's fun to do a podcast about them because we went through some bullshit the past couple of years, my friends. We had nights where we were having margaritas and we were just sitting here crying into them, not celebrating them. So kind of sucks that we lost tonight, but you know what? Pack it up, move on, go on to New York. You still got 4 more games on this road trip. All right. We're at the point right now where 3-3 is a successful road trip, right? That means that we go, you know what 3-1 on the remaining aspects of this road trip. That's real, right? I talked about this road trip before it began. And I said these first 2 games would be tough, man. Everyone, I'm like, Miami's not easy. Detroit's definitely not easy. New York's tough too. You know, and we follow that with games against the Brooklyn Nets, the Atlanta Hawks, and the Philadelphia 76ers. So I said, we walk out of this thing 4-2, man. It is a great road trip. If we walk around 3-3, that's a damn good road trip. We come out 2-4, that was a rough road trip. We come back 1-5 or 0-6, we're having different conversations kind of road trip. So, New York, Saturday night, concrete jungle, where dreams are made of, something tomatoes. That's all I got, Jamsters. I've been talking for 47 minutes. My wife wonders how I do this. I say, it's the margaritas. Go home and love your family. Thanks for watching.
Hey, you're listening to the Suns Jam Session Podcast, shooting the shit about the Suns since 2019.